we got an interesting controversy going around on Twitter right now, which I would like to participate, where you have a lot of woke individuals that are demanding to know the meaning of the word tourist, right? Like woke people, they cannot have a firm grasp on reality, and they go around the world going like, but what do you mean by this? But what is it? What is a woman? What is a woman? Like, how can you define? Like, do you have a paper to define what a woman is, right? And unless you can give them the definition, then they believe that women just do not exist. And it's the same with other concepts, like the word tourist. So I will do my best in order to explain what a tourist is, because I think I got the perfect analogy, which is the mother in the soccer field. You guys know what I'm talking about? Huh? Did you have that experience growing up? If you didn't, I'll do my best to explain it. So when we were young, my generation, we didn't have computers and we didn't have social media to entertain ourselves. We actually did have to go outside and play football. Yeah, that was one of the most popular games. And during football, people would get injured sometimes. Like someone would run too fast or someone would kick the ball too hard. And these things would happen. There was nothing major, like nothing requiring hospitalization, but like you could get kicked with a ball in your face and it would hurt really bad, right? So when that happened, like the kid would start crying and people may pause the game for a little bit, but then the kid was fine and we kept going. And there was a lot of trash talk, a lot of banter, a lot of harmful abuse going on, but it was all in good fun. It's basically, boys will be boys, the most horrifying thing that you can tell to a modern person now. But that's how it was. But every now and then, someone would bring on their mother. Whether the mother would summon herself or whether like the kid wanted the mom to be there for various retarded reasons, you were placed in the situation where the mom was there. Now, the mom wasn't actually interested in the game, right? Like she didn't give a single fuck about football. But what she cared about was safety and how people verbalize and how they communicate and how they act and how they behave towards each other. So all of a sudden, you couldn't say the trash talk anymore. You couldn't say the banter. If someone ended up kicking the ball too hard, the mother would step in and say, well, you can't kick it that hard because someone could get injured. And if someone did get injured, oh, well, you can't keep playing the game. Let's play something else. Right? So, like, this was the epitome of killjoy. This was like a person that had nothing to do with the actual game, and they would change the environment to the point where no one liked the game anymore. And this is how a modern tourist behaves. Like a modern tourist is usually someone who has suffered massive brain damage by listening to the ideology coming from American academia, and they don't actually care about the game. They don't actually care about the source material, but what they do care is how people behave, right? Like they view themselves as a social engineer. And they really don't care about the game, but they care about what message is the game telling to other people, right? Like just like a mother caring, like what message does my child have to learn from this? They think that you are their children. They think that you are their responsibility, right? Like they view themselves as the adult in the room, and you are the child behaving in an appropriate manner, and you have to be corrected. Whether that is like by changing the actual game so that, people don't kick the ball too hard, or in our case, that fascists can't be the good guys in any setting ever, or we can't allow races to exist in Dungeons and Dragons because like that would make people racists, or we can't have slavery in Pathfinder, or we can't have sexist jokes or racist jokes or anything like that. So it doesn't mean that their arguments need to make sense, because again, like the mother in the soccer field, like she doesn't need to make sense either. But they want to have that authority. They want to be positioned in a situation where they're the adults and you're the child. Because on the soccer field, like at least the mother does have like some sort of legitimate authority because like she happens to have a kid that's playing there, right? Like, and she's in charge of that kid. If that kid hurts someone, then she can go to prison. Like she's actually responsible for the actions of her child. Of course, she oversteps the authority by trying to lecture other kids, and that is not her place. But with the tourist in a fictional setting, like someone that's a tourist and goes into Dungeons and Dragons, they have absolutely no authority. They have absolutely no legitimacy. And this is why they get offended when people are calling them out and saying like, who are you to tell me how to behave? Like, you're not related to me. We don't have a business contract. You're not better than me. Because underlying that is the message, right? Like, they want to pretend that they are better than you. Like they have something that you don't. They have moral value and you do not have moral consideration. And it's this attitude that really pisses people off. Like, it's fine to tell another person how to behave. It's fine to try to educate another person, but there needs to be like some sort of relationship there. Whether it's a parental relationship, a guardian relationship, or maybe, it's your spouse or your their boss, right? You do have like certain relationships where, yeah, like one person is entitled to tell another person how to behave and to check their behavior. But in this situation with the tourists going around and flapping their mouth and saying, oh, our community, like all of a sudden, right? It's not just individuals, people playing. It's our community. And by talking like this, they're pretending as if they're like some sort of pillar of the community. Like there's some sort of authority in the community. And unless you do what they tell you to, they will excommunicate you. So all of a sudden they become like the priests of the community. They become like the clergy, right? And the community is just this backwater village that now has to get in line with all the other villages so that they can join the city. And the city is where the place of culture and education comes from, right? So we need to align all of our entertainment to the woke ideology so we can be part of the whole, of the greater whole. And this is why people are telling them to fuck off nonstop, right? And this is why they're calling them tourists, is because we know they're not interested in the game. Just like the mother on the soccer field is not interested in the actual game. Like, she doesn't care if her kid wins or loses. They are interested into engineering people, into changing society. This is why they care. And the game is just a vehicle for them to do it, because like normally no one would listen to them. But all of a sudden, by pretending that they're part of the game and using the game as a vehicle, oh, now people have to listen. But it seems that people are catching on and they're not listening, and then this is why they don't understand. It's like, but what is a tourist? How do you define what it like? Look, you don't need to understand. All right, we just don't want to play with you. That's very simple. If you can't figure it out, if you can't even comprehend like the very minimum, then why are you at our table? And it's interesting because like these games can be literally played with whomever you want. Like, there is nothing stopping the tourists from getting a couple of people that agree with them, and they can play tabletop as much as they want. But that's not what they're into, right? Like, they're not interested in the game. They don't care about the game. They care about controlling you. Because they think they are better than you. They think they are more educated, more compassionate. They think that, unlike you, they are human beings and you're not, pretty much, right? And you see how they behave when they manage to take over a forum or a Discord server, when they're given like some small amount of power on the internet and they're acting like unhinged tyrants, like banning everyone that disagrees with them, banning everyone that, right? So where is the inclusivity? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.